everyone, and welcome to our session today. We are very excited to have Professor Amber Santos with us today, and she is going to run class. So with that, Professor Santos, take it away.
All right, thank you so much. Excited to be here today, and I see that there's a few of you that have joined. So some of the stuff I'm going to talk about today, you might think, well, that's just common sense, but hopefully it is, but hopefully I'm going to teach you guys some things that you haven't heard before. So let me just give you a little bit of background on me. I am a JU grad. I got my Bachelor's of Science of Nursing degree at JU, and I've also got my MSN and MBA from JU, and I'm working on my DNP, my doctoral degree from JU as well. So I do know JU well. I love the school, and I'm very blessed to teach with the school. I've been teaching about 8 years full-time, a little over, and before that I was an adjunct, and once I graduated from undergrad, I immediately went into pediatrics, so that's my specialty background, and the neonatal intensive care unit. So I've been a NICU nurse for 20 plus years and worked at Wolfson's Children's Hospital, but I've also worked in some other settings as well. So I'm hoping that today I can bring some of the lessons I learned as a nurse into the presentation, okay? So if we want to go ahead and get started on the presentation, we can. Do you guys have the presentation, or do you want me to pull it up, Ami?
You can go ahead and pull it up, Professor Santos.
Oh, okay. Let me put, I didn't, sorry about that, guys. I thought my slides.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So today I'm going to talk about the different ways that you can stay healthy on campus. And like I said, some of this you might think is just common sense, but as a nurse for all these years, I can tell you that the little things you do make a big difference in your health. And it's extremely important to stay healthy while you're in school, because as you guys know that it can be a stressful time with trying to balance all that you're about to try to balance, and get enough rest and stuff. So I just want to talk about the main things that are going to help keep you healthy. Okay, so what is your immune system, right? So this is really how your body is able to stay healthy. So your body's natural defense is what it is. So it's made up of cells, molecules, tissues, and organs, and they all work in a very amazing way. Actually, I could talk about this forever as well, to keep you healthy. But when your body senses a foreign substance, okay, we call those antigens, your body's immune system recognizes that, and it's going to help rid you of it. Okay, so that's really the point of your immune system. So things that really help strengthen your immune system are the following. So try not to smoke, okay, so don't smoke, and that also includes vaping as well. There has been some research out there to show that that it can cause damage to the lungs. We don't even know yet exactly the extent that it can, but we do know that it does. So don't smoke, eat a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables as much as you can. Exercise regularly, okay, and I don't mean you don't have to go run 10 miles. Exercise can just be movement, all right? So movement is life. So just walking around campus and trying to get out as much as you can. Try to maintain a healthy weight. Try to avoid alcohol. And if you do partake, then just try to do that in moderation. Getting enough sleep is crucial, and I'm going to talk about these in a little bit more depth in just a minute. And then taking steps to avoid infection, okay? So washing your hands. I can't stress enough how important it is to wash your hands, particularly if you have a tendency to touch your face or touch foods and things like that. So it's important to wash your hands. Minimize stress. Stress causes your body to release cortisol. Cortisol decreases your immune system function. And then wash your hands. You're going to see me say this a million times about washing your hands, but when nearly 80% of illness causing germs are spread by your hands. So nearly 80% of illness causing germs are spread that way. And in fact, a little bit of trivia for you, 1 in 5 people don't wash their hands. Okay, so you got a room of 5 people, look around, 1 of those 5 is not washing their hands. And only 30% of the ones that are washing their hands are using soap. Okay, so that's partly why we are in the situation we're in right now with this pandemic. I learned in nursing school, Florence Nightingale, she's considered the mother of nursing. She was very instrumental in changing the way that we view people and the way that we view sanitary environments. And in the 1800s, she was able to show that by simply keeping things clean, particularly ourselves and even our hands, significantly decreased the death rates during wars and such. So she was instrumental in the Crimean War back in the 1800s. So just kind of keep that in mind. 1 in 5 people, they're not washing their hands, okay? So some other ways to stay healthy while you're on campus. So clean your living space often, particularly now, given the pandemic that we're in. I really can't stress that enough. So I clean the space that I'm in twice a day. I clean it in the morning when I go around, and some of the main things I clean, like if you're like, good Lord, I can't clean my apartment or my house twice a day, but clean the surfaces that are touched the most. So doorknobs, refrigerators, that kind of stuff, okay? So clean your space, that's important. Get 8 hours of sleep every night. And I know you're probably thinking, how am I going to do that? But I can give you some helpful hints for that. Exercise, just be active. Try to move as much as you can. Eat healthy foods that are whole foods, whole meals and snacks. Stay hydrated. I'm going to talk about all these in just a little bit. Listen to your body. Okay, that's another important thing that I'm going to talk to you about. And then follow the CDC and our JU university guidelines to protect yourself from illnesses. Because remember, as we transition, we're already in the middle of a pandemic, as you guys know, but we're also about to transition into flu season. And these are helpful hints we give our students regardless of a pandemic or not. So this is even more important now. And then once again, take a guess, wash your hands. All right, did you know that germs can survive on your hands for up to 3 hours? So germs on your hand right now, they survive there for up to 3 hours. And every time you touch your face, they just spread to the face. You rub your eyes, it just got into your eyes. You touch your nose, you just introduce some into your respiratory system. So you probably don't even realize how often you're touching your face until you try to make a conscious effort not to touch your face. And then you're gonna realize how much you are. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So clean your living space, okay? So I'm gonna give you some helpful hints on things that you can do. So try to clean the areas that you work with the most. So tables, doorknobs, light switches. A lot of you guys forget about that. Countertops, the handles of things, your door handles, your bedroom door handles, the refrigerator, okay? Desks, phones, keyboards, toilets, faucets, and sinks. Did you guys know that there are more germs on your phone and keyboard? Okay, so there's more germs on your phone and keyboards than on your toilet seat. Yes, that is a fact. We actually did an experiment with that when I was in nursing school and taking microbiology, and we took swabs from the different areas. And the certain spaces like that, of course, back when I went to school, we didn't have the cell phones, but I just pretty much aged myself. But we did have like common surfaces we did, especially like doorknobs and such. But keyboards, one of the dirtiest things that you can have. All right, so get 8 hours of sleep a night. So sleep really is the most important aspect of staying healthy. Many people don't think sleep is that important, and they're wrong. Actually, sleep is one of the best ways for your immune system to recharge. Kind of like you need to recharge your batteries in your cell phone or even your computer. Sleep is the body's way of recharging. So if you're having trouble falling asleep, and you're like me, because I'm like that as well, because your brain just doesn't shut off, okay? There are some things that you can do that can help you. So try to stay as active as you can throughout the day. Exercise, movement, walking, playing a sport, whatever it is. The research has shown that if you spend enough time just moving throughout the day, you'll sleep much better at night. And you'll notice that when you're in school. So let's say that you spent all day in classrooms and then all of a sudden studying, and then it gets time to go to bed. You'll notice the difference between the days that you're active and then the days that you're not. Turn off all screens an hour before going to bed. This is probably the hardest one. Hands down, for me it is, and I'm sure it is for you guys as well. Screens means literally everything, from a TV screen to the screen on your phone to your computer screen. So try to shut those down. Set an alarm, okay, to try to remind yourself of the best time to go to bed so that you can get those 8 hours of sleep. So set that alarm, and let's say it's 10 p.m., go to bed at 10 p.m. Try to avoid caffeine and any type of a stimulant, in enough time before you go to bed so that it doesn't prevent you from sleeping. And do things, whatever works for you, that helps your mind calm down. So for me, that's meditation, but it could also just be being still with my eyes closed. Some people draw, some people just read, but it's a good way to turn off your mind, okay? Because our minds really can wander a lot. All right, so movement is life, exercise. This is something that, I struggle with just because I work so much, and I know that you guys do as well, but I try to make a point of moving consistently throughout the day if I can. So movement, deep breathing, muscular exertion, and sweating, these are all benefits of movement, like exercise. So what are 5 amazing benefits of outdoor exercise? So the research has shown that if you can get outside to exercise, that's even better. Okay, so there's a lot of things that it do. It actually boosts your immune system when you're outside. You burn more calories when you're moving outside. It releases those good hormones, the feel-good hormones, as we call them, which are dopamine and serotonin. Okay, so those endorphins. You get some vitamin D, hopefully, a little bit, and that vitamin D is good for many reasons. A lot of it is, it also helps with depression, and it also helps you fight off viruses a little better. You can you'll work out longer and harder if you're outside. So some of the research has shown that when you move outside, you move more, okay? So basically exercise, staying active, that translates into better sleep, and it also translates into better cognitive function, okay? So a lot of people think, no, I got to just sit and binge study, but that actually is not as good as if you were to just schedule a 20-minute period of time. So in an hour, schedule 15 or 20 minutes to get up and move, and then come back, and believe it or not, you retain more information that way. And it just actually does boost your immune system. It helps to strengthen your immune system. All right, so eat whole foods, meals, and snacks. So just try to make good choices if you can. So diet and nutrition, we know this, it's been since the beginning of the time. It really does dictate your cognitive functions, your ability to perform in class and on tests and things, your physical well-being, and then your overall immunity. And if you're wondering, well, what are some ideas for some whole food meals and snacks? I have a list over to the right to kind of show you. So when I was in grad school, I was getting 2 grad degrees at the same time while working full time. And I really did have to pull in some of these things that I learned when I took nutrition. Just something as simple as blueberries. They actually enhance your cognitive function. So try to just eat the clean snacks if you can. Okay, so try to be healthy, nutritious, and then try to get those protein-rich snacks. Remember, the sugars, they'll give you that high, and then when you crash, you're going to feel much worse, and your studying might actually be not as effective, okay? Staying hydrated. This is another one that I've actually been very good at over the years. Take water with you everywhere you go. It really is critical because your body, it helps you cleanse the body, and it transports vitamins and nutrients that then give you the energy. So without enough water in your system, your body can't make the most of those wonderful snacks that you just had, okay? Especially if you're exercising, water is important. So the average American, right? So you guys are gonna need 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, but 3 and 4 of you are dehydrated. So right now, there's 4 of you on this session, 3 of you are dehydrated, okay? And then try to remember that there's certain things that you drink that actually make it worse for you, okay? So sodas are not good for you. Water is better for you. They can actually cause dehydration. Coffee, alcohol, any type of a drink that's like a diuretic, okay? Be aware of signs of dehydration. So that could be fatigue and dizziness, brain fog, as we call it, like you just can't find the word to things. And in fact, I hear people say that a lot. Man, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I can't even think of words. And one of the first things I say to them is go drink a bottle of water, because really you're probably dehydrated and don't even realize that you are. Dry mouth, that's a pretty common sense one, right? But muscle fatigue, if your urine is dark, if your skin is dry as well. So think about these things. And then if it's getting worse, you'll start to feel things like muscle cramp and dizziness. Okay, so staying hydrated is critical. Listen to your body, right? So right now, given this pandemic, I think this is one of the most important things that you can do, okay? Because I think what's happening is that people don't even realize, they're not listening to their body. They don't realize maybe that they're positive with COVID, and then it progresses a little too long in their body before they go and seek medical attention. So listen to your body. There are some things that it will tell you that maybe something is off. So if you've ever said to yourself, something just doesn't feel right, something feels off, you're right. It probably is. Okay, so listen to your body. And that doesn't just mean physical. It could also mean mental and emotional, all right? So be alert to some symptoms. For instance, fever, okay? Anything above 100.4 is considered high, and you need to seek medical help. And remember, I have a slide on this coming up. For the first time ever in JU's history, you guys are lucky because you have a student health center right on campus. We have been wanting this for years. When I was in nursing school at JU, I would have loved to have had this, but you guys finally have this, so that's wonderful. So go, if you feel something is off, I want you to call the clinic and I want you to be seen, okay? Watch for fever, cough, shortness of breath. These are things that can actually be very serious, whether it's COVID or the flu or even bronchitis. I want you guys to be alert to those things and then notify someone, okay? And if you do take your temperature, which we're going to be asking you guys to do regularly on campus, just remember that don't do it within 30 minutes of exercising, because that could make your temperature hotter than what it normally would. It would make it read higher. Or taking medicines like Tylenol, because that might lower it, and then you wouldn't be able to tell. Okay, so, and it really depends on how you're taking your temperature. If you're taking an oral one, obviously don't drink anything hot or cold within at least 15 minutes prior to doing it. But most of the thermometers we have now are the body thermometers, or the ones that you guys are able to put in your ear, okay? All right, so follow the university, so follow JU in the CDC guidelines. So we want you to cover your mouth and nose with a cloth face mask, okay? So with the cloth covering, you can spread COVID-19 to others even if you don't feel sick, right? So that's why a lot of this has to do with the people that don't even know that they're carrying COVID and spreading it to other people. So to me, this is just social responsibility, all right? I've had a lot of my nursing friends, obviously, I still have connections with the hospitals. We still teach at all of the hospitals here in town. And I've had a lot of my nursing friends that they're on the front line right now fighting COVID, and it would help them a lot if you guys would just cover your face with your cloth masks. I'm going to show you in just a little bit what that looks like. All right, so everyone should wear a cloth mask. Cover if you're going out in public. Make sure you respect social distancing, at least 6 feet apart. Because remember, some people are spreading this and don't even know they have it. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If you're wondering, how long is 20 seconds? You got to sing happy birthday. And if you sing it fast, sing it twice. Okay, so sing happy birthday. That's one of the best ways. Okay, make sure that you do it with soap and water if you're washing your hands. If you don't have soap and water available, then use hand sanitizer, and that hand sanitizer I've heard it is going to be provided by JU. They're going to have like hand sanitizing stations, and then it'll have at least 60% of the alcohol in it to kill the germs. Okay, and then avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with your unwashed hands. And we do it all the time. I can't even tell you how many times I'll go like this or I'll go like this, you know. So just know that you touch your face more than you think you do. All right. In fact, with that said, let me give you a little bit of trivia. The number of germs on your fingertips doubles after you use the toilet. Okay, so the number of germs just on your fingertips alone doubles after you use the toilet. When you don't wash your hands, you transfer germs to the food and the drink that you eat. Okay, so make sure that you guys are washing your hands. Okay, all right, wash your hands. Ready? This is how we do it. You're probably thinking, oh my goodness, I know how to wash my hands. But I want you to really make sure you know how to wash your hands. So you first go to the sink, you wet your hands, right? Under the running water, right? It could be warm or cold, okay? Either one. Then you turn it off. You get the soap on your hands, and I want you to wash your hands. Lather it up really good. Make sure you get between your fingers. Make sure you get your nails like this, okay? So make sure that you get between your fingers and your nails. And you're gonna lather it up really good. And remember, you need to do that for at least 20 seconds. Okay, that's critical, 20 seconds. Because if not, all you really did was get the germs wet and move them around a little bit. Okay, so if you don't do it long enough, you're not actually killing the germs and getting rid of what's on your hands. So sing happy birthday, you know, twice from beginning to end. Okay, twice. That's 20 seconds, okay, of your life. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna rinse your hands really well under the running water. And then before you turn off the water, leave that water running, get a paper towel or something to dry your hands off really good. And then use that paper towel to then turn off your faucet, okay? Because think about it for just a minute. If you washed your hands, use the paper towel, and then use your hand again to turn off that faucet, you have those pre-faucet germs that you just brought back onto your hands, okay? Hopefully I'm not completely turning you guys into germaphobes, but you know, given today's day and age, maybe if I am, it's not that bad of a thing, okay? So that's how you wash your hands. And we actually have signs all over campus to remind you about the proper way to wash your hands. So how do germs spread? They usually spread in your hands. So you can see in this picture here what an unwashed hand looks like with all those germs on it, and then what it looks like after 30 seconds of washing the hands. And you can still see, look between the fingers, okay? Look right between the fingers. Do you still see some of the white? Okay, that was with 30 seconds and there's still a little bit left on there. So make sure that when you're washing your hands, you really get between the fingers and under your fingernails, okay? So how do germs spread? Well, they spread usually by your hands. So you're gonna touch your eyes and your nose and your mouth and your unwashed hands. You're preparing food and drinks. You're touching contaminated surfaces. Remember, pop quiz, what were the two areas that had more germs than the toilet seat? You can remember too? That was your keyboard and your phone has more germs than your toilet seat. Okay, all right, so touching contaminated surfaces, blowing your nose, coughing, sneezes. Remember, if you're gonna blow your nose, if you don't have tissue handy, make sure you go into your sleeve like this, okay? Blow into your sleeve, because if you went like this, you're much more likely now, you just spread that germ and that virus is just going all over, okay? Or bacteria, virus, whatever you've got growing is going everywhere. So remember to into your shoulder, okay? If you're gonna cough or sneeze, or have a tissue handy and do it that way. All right, and I know these things sound like common sense, but just try it. You know, just try doing these things consistently and you'll see that maybe you didn't have that great of habits, okay? All right, wearing a mask, the do's and the don'ts of wearing a mask. I just want to make sure you guys can see me. Can you see me okay? Because right now I have the whole screen pulled up. Can you guys see me okay? Yes?
Yes.
You can see me good? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to demonstrate the do's and the don'ts of mask wearing. And as a nurse, you know, it can be kind of entertaining for me to go out in public in the grocery store and see people wearing masks. and realizing that's really not the right way to wear a mask, and you might as well not even be wearing one. So if you're going to wear a mask, which we all are, because we care about our fellow colleagues, right? We care about the world. We want to get better. We want to fight this virus. We want to prevent us from getting sick with the flu virus. This is how we're going to do it right here. This is how we're going to do it. So what are some don'ts? Let me put the mask on. Okay, so this is how you put it on. You grab it. You can see me grabbing it by the, and it's a cloth mask, and you just place it on like this. Now I'm not going to take my hand and go under like this. No, if you need to adjust it, you just adjust it from the outside. Okay, and what I'm making sure I do is that my nose is covered and that my mouth and chin are covered. That's what's important. So do not wear your mask below your nose. Okay, you see people doing this when you pull through drive-thrus or stuff. Defeats the purpose. Everything coming out of their nose is coming out into the world. Don't wear your mask lower than your nose. Okay, so don't wear your mask below your nose, and don't wear it low on your nose. So I've seen some people put it kind of like this, and they're like, yeah, what's on my nose? No, it needs to come over your nose. Don't leave your chin exposed. So I've seen some people go like this, or maybe their mask is too small, where it covers their nose and covers their mouth, but their chin now. Okay, it's hard to do it on this one because this is a good mask, but their chin is exposed. Don't do that. Don't, this is my favorite, this is the one I see the most, don't do this. Because I'm not even sure why you have a mask on in the first place, okay? My mouth is still exposing you to things, and my nose is still. So don't wear it on your chin. Don't let your mask hang loosely with gaps around your face. So if you don't have a proper fitting mask, then we need to get you one, okay? So these strings right here, this elastic needs to be tight enough, because if it just kind of lags down, right, then it's not gonna work. So the proper way to wear it is make sure your nose is covered. I'm gonna get nice and close here. Make sure your nose is covered, make sure your mouth is covered, and your chin is covered, okay? This is how we prevent the spread of infection. And I also, at the very end of this, I have a PBS video that I was gonna show you guys, but it's 8 minutes long, so I'm just gonna post it for you if you want to go look at it, and it shows you why it's so important to wear a mask. So how do you take it off? You got your straps, right? Just like this. You just pull the straps, and then you always put a hand like this. Don't touch the inside of the mask, okay? And then I typically keep mine in like a bag, like a little sandwich bag. I'll keep mine in, and when I go home at night, I'll wash my mask. Okay, so it is important to make sure that, then that's the beauty of these cloth masks, is that you can wash them, okay? All right, so those are the do's and don'ts. All right, so let's talk about my greatest concern, who I'm the most concerned about on campus as a nurse, all right? And these are the people that I want to reach out to our health center, okay? So the CDC has listed those at increased risk for having severe illness from COVID-19. And ironically enough, these also pretty much correlate with the flu as well. There's much more here with COVID than there is the flu, but the population on our campus that I would say that we see on our campus would be those, so it's all listed up here for you, but the ones that I would be the most concerned about on campus, that I want you to reach out to the student health center, would be if your body mass index is over 30, if you have any heart conditions, okay, sickle cell, diabetes, asthma, okay, or cystic fibrosis as well. So heart disease like hypertension, high blood pressure, and then those who are also immunocompromised, all right? So I want you to reach out to the student health center and see if there's maybe some education that they can provide you with. My area of specialty is actually asthma, people with reactive airway disease. That's what my doctoral final project is on as well. So I'm always willing to help and answer questions to any of you that have asthma or reactive airway disease and are have concerns about coming back on campus. But with all of these different risk factors that I have listed from the CDC, if we did, all of us collectively, the things that I just talked about, we would significantly decrease Okay, significantly decrease the spread of infections, whether it's COVID-19 or flu or pneumonia or bronchitis, whatever it is, we would significantly decrease the spread of an infection. So that's why it's important to me. Let me give you a couple more trivia that you guys might not know. That's why, you know, wearing a mask is critical as well. Did you know that when you sneeze, you shoot droplets with up to 100,000 bacteria and viruses? Okay, so when you sneeze, you shoot out over 100,000 bacteria and viruses, okay, into the air, and they're going at 100 miles per hour. That's the average. Some go even faster, but that's the average. So think about that for a minute, okay? So that's a lot of particles out into the air. Purses, so if you're a female or you're carrying a purse, handbags as well. So purses and handbags, they have up to 10,000 bacteria per square inch on them. 10,000 bacteria per square inch. So that means 30% contain fecal bacteria, right? So fecal is poop, okay? So 30% of that is fecal bacteria on your purse. So what's another area? If you carry a purse, you should clean often your purse. Think about how many places you set your purse. Let's say you go to a public bathroom. Where are you putting that purse? If you're not hanging it up, it's on the floor. Guess what's on that floor? Right? So if we just kind of be mindful of these little things, you know, I didn't mean to turn you guys into germaphobes, but if we're just mindful of these things, I think that we can have a much better fall semester, spring semester, summer semester, in that we're in this together. So this is just the phone number to the Student Health Center. Remember, you guys are lucky. You are the first cohort ever that's going to have this. Phone number and office hours, and they can answer any questions you have. If you need to schedule an appointment, they're there to help you. Okay, so, and this building is located just a little bit further north of campus. So if you need directions, then let us know, and we can make sure that we get directions and stuff out to you guys. So that is really it. I'm hoping that, I know that this seemed simple. I know that many of you probably already knew these things, but I'm hoping that in this together, we can have a healthier campus, okay? And that's it. Any questions?